Welcome to Co-op Guild. This is Steve with a preview of Doomguard by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Now, this is a game that will be on GameFound. So what you see in front of you is a prototype of it. So everything's subject to change, including artwork, rules, components, all that fun stuff. But I'm here to provide you a solo playthrough using two characters, dual handling it to kind of get an idea of how this game works. So Doomguard is a superhero and supervillain game, except they are working together against the greater evil Cthulhu, or the Great Old One. In this prototype, I do have Cthulhu. This is the Great Old One we'll be facing today. And it is a scenario-based game. So you can play each of the scenarios one-off, or the scenarios do link together to have a overall campaign. So today, I'll be showing you the first scenario, the Weed of Corruption. So how we win the game is by completing whatever the scenario asks us to do. We lose the game in a number of different ways. So you see here, this is the city in front of you, and in a two-character game, we'll have 4 of these buildings. If all these buildings are destroyed, all 4 of these, the city's gone, basically, we lose the game. If our Doom track ever reaches 0, counts down to 0, we lose the game as well. It is on this board, but honestly, just for ease of use, I'm going to put it on the screen above me. The little counter up there, so it's going to start at 7. When it counts down to 0, that'll be marking Doom. But that is the Doom track up there. The other way we can lose is if we just can't complete the scenario for whatever reason. But so 3 ways to lose, only 1 way to win. And I will be teaching the game as we play through it. Okay, we've got the board set in front of us. I'll briefly describe what you see in front of you. So this is obviously the city. The number of location spots you'll put landmarks on there is depending on the player count. So we're playing a 2-player game, so we'll put down 4 random ones down there, a base, and then we'll put the corrupted location as well. So the corrupted location is going to be dependent on the Great Old One. So in this case, we have the corrupted docks. And the base, we've got some choices. In fact, we could have chosen, we're using the skyscraper base for this one, but we could have chosen the flying base as well. So a couple different bases you can play in the game. And all the heroes, or our villains, will be starting on there. And you'll see that there are lines connecting to the different landmarks with open spaces between them. These are quick stops. These are just quick points that count as a movement point, but basically most of the focus will be on the landmarks themselves. Now, we'll mention that there is the corrupted docks here, which is, there's a little line here, which connects to this circle. So you can actually go to this location. You probably won't see that very often, if at all. Most of the action will be happening over on the city. Okay, let's talk about the scenario, and then we'll do the teach as we play through the game. So the scenario, like I said, we're playing the Weed of Corruption. Now, each scenario has multiple branches in it, which is kind of cool. It's a lot of replayability. But to set up the game, we'll take the Phase 1 card, and let's go ahead and reveal this and see what we start with. So, the Weed of Corruption, Scenario 1. Terror has seized the city. The streets are empty, save for terrifying beasts prowling for their next meal. The cultists' dark rituals corrupt the places where people once gathered in order to achieve their ultimate purpose, freeing the dark god, allowing to enter our world. The cultists have chosen numerous landmarks to act as nexuses for their profane power. To stop the cultists, the Doomguard, which is us, must seal away the dark power concentrated in these landmarks with a special ritual, the Greater Ritual of Hexagram. Once cut off from the larger network, the cultists will be unable to use these sites of concentrated power to enact their own terrible ritual. So our job in Phase 1 of the scenario is to stop the spread. So you can see over here the card. I've got it blown up so we can read it together. It might have some additional effects on here, so we're going to have to draw an impending doom card. I'll show you that is in a second. But here is the Greater Ritual of Hexagram. So this is what we just read. So this is a scenario-specific action. So this is an action we can do only for this scenario, and it's called Invoke the Seal. It requires us to spend 2 energy to do it. And this one says remove 1 corruption. That's what this symbol is. So in this game, the heroes can take corruption and go crazy from evil, or the location can also get corrupted and flip to a really bad side. And so this will help us to remove one of those corruption from the Guardian's landmarks, wherever we are. If it has at least one corruption and does not have a lockdown token, we place a lockdown token on it. And the key thing here says a landmark with a lockdown token cannot have corruption placed on it. So our job is to go to a location with corruption on it, remove some of it, and if it has one or more remaining, we get to lock it down and stop any further corruption from being placed there. So, advancement. So this is our first step. Once the Guardians have taken the Invoke the Seal scenario Doomguard times, that Doomguard symbol is the number of heroes in the game. In this case, we have 2. So once the Guardians have taken the Invoke the Seal scenario action 2 times, read the ritual is complete on page 7. So that is how we progress to the next part of the scenario. And this here, the Impending Doom, I skipped over that, but that is after we take our turns, we'll do an Impending Doom phase. The important thing about this one is we aren't placing bystanders. So normally we put bystanders on the board. This is kind of the intro scenario, so it does cut back on a little bit of stuff you might be seeing. Okay, so that was the first part that you stop the spread. So this scenario card we just drew will go over here as a reminder of what's happening. And it says to draw an Impending Doom card. So over here we have an Impending Doom deck and a Dark Portents deck. These are basically the bad stuff. So we need to draw this card right now as part of the setup. So we have Nests of Corruption, and I'm going to turn off this so it's easy to read. With the help of the Vanguard Defense Force, the Doom Guard is able to identify another landmark that has been secretly contributing to the spreading corruption. So choose who eliminates the Nests of Corruption. So we have a choice right now. We can choose the Guardians, which is us. The Guardians must take the Invoke the Seal action an additional time. This is phase 2. This option can't be chosen. So the interesting thing about this is we're in phase 1 of the scenario. We'll eventually go to phase 2 at some point, hopefully. If this comes up in phase 2, which is possible because, like I said, this got a lot of randomness and how these event cards can come out. So this might have different effects on that situation. But right now, it doesn't matter. We can choose the first option, the Guardians. Or we can have the VDF. The VDF, which is the Vanguard Defense Force. We can have them take care of this Nest of Corruption. If they help, they aren't fast enough to completely stop the advancing Doom. So unfortunately, we have to advance Doom, which drops our counter by 1. So we have a choice right now. Either we need to do the Invoke, Invoke the Seal action 3 times instead of twice, or we advance Doom right now. I am going to choose to advance Doom right now. So we'll move that down to, okay, so that's Nests of Corruption, and we'll place this right here, and then basically this will be in effect until we draw another Impending Doom card. But right now we're at 6 now. That's counting down. Remember, we get to 0, we lose the game. Okay, so that was all part of setup. Let's talk about how the game's played. So the game is played in basically 2 phases. The Guardians phase, where players take their turns, and everybody will take their turns in order. And then we'll do an Impending Doom phase. So let's go ahead and start that off with the Guardian phase. So here's turn sequence. First thing we do is we'll have the Warden will go first. So each Guardian is going to resolve these steps. So we're going to do the Dark Portents. Draw a Dark Portents card and resolve each effect. These are bad cards. Basically, they're going to spawn bad guys, and then some Growing Dread is some bad effect that's going to happen. And then we'll move on to the rest of that. So let's do that first together. So Dark Portents deck's right here. Let's see what we get. We have Apex Predator. Spawn minions, 1 Baki. And then this symbol means where are they going to appear in? They're going to appear in a landmark with no minions or guardians. So basically not in our space. Okay, so that is going to be one of these guys. And I'm going to just use one of these randomizer cards to pick which landmark it's going to be in. It's going to be in the Legacy Herald. So let's go ahead and put him in the Legacy Herald over here. All right. Now it says give the Baki a energy token. So this is going to show you, this is going to turn him into what's called a exalted enemy. So we'll put an energy token right underneath him, so we know he's extra special. And unfortunately, he means he's extra hard to defeat. So let's take a quick peek at the Baki card. So up here, you can see that this is their health. So normally you have 2 health, and this is the number of dice they roll in combat. They have a bunch of effects. This is if we run through their spot, they'll do this damage to us as we run through it, and some other effects. The rest of them are dice effects that will happen when we're in combat. There's an impending doom ability, which may happen at the end of the round. And then they are often immune to stuff. So in this case, they're immune to physical damage. So I have to keep track of what damage type we have. In this case, I'm playing with 2 tech heroes, so we should be okay there. But like I said, we added a energy token to him, which marks him as exalted. So he's actually this column instead. 3 health, rolls a black die, does extra damage, more bad stuff happens. So not great. Not a good start. Okay, so that is who we spawned. So that's the first part of the turn. Let's return that card. So next thing we have to do is we need to generate power. So we're going to roll 6 power dice, and we're going to choose 4 of them to keep, and then we're going to perform our actions. So let's go ahead and do that now, starting with the Warden. Alright, so how that works is we have these white dice up here. We're going to roll 6 of them, and we're going to keep any 4 symbols. So let's go ahead and roll these. And I have, well, it's a pretty decent example here. I have 3 blanks and 3 other symbols. Now, the different symbols that are possible on there are these 4 symbols. There is a movement symbol, energy symbol, and a fight symbol. This symbol here is also wild. So these are the 4 possible symbols, but I roll a blank. So I'm okay keeping this. I can take corruption to reroll any die one additional time. But I'm going to keep what I have here. And I'm going to then choose to dock these 4 dice. Now, what does docking mean? Let's take a quick look at Warden's card. So here is his card. So you can see he's got lots of things going on here. Up here is his damage type. Over here is his corruption value. So if we get this 9 corruption, we'll flip him over to a crazy side and bad things happen. This is his movement. And his health is basically 30. Every character has 30 health. As you take damage, once you get to 30, you don't die, but every 5 damage you take, you roll 1 less power die, which you just saw. But basically down here is where he can store those dice. So I can store the blank, the movement, the energy, and the fight there. Now while we're here, let's look at what he does. So I've got the special ability Kinetic Conversion. Warden has 2 Kinetic Conversion tokens to distribute. So the ability is Doomguard here. So there's basically 3 different types of effects for heroes. There is Solo, which means you can only do it on your turn. There is Teamwork, which means you can do on your turn or other players' turns. And Doomguard, which means you can do any time in the game. So anytime in the game, at the start of the round, I can give any number of my Kinetic Conversion tokens to Guardians within 2 spaces. And what do these Kinetic Conversion tokens do? A Guardian may discard this token when taking damage or corruption to suffer half that amount. So that's what these little tokens are. So I'm going to give 1 to myself and 1 to Ogre, who's in the spot with me. Alright. So let's go ahead and... So we got this stuff figured out. These are my action dice. I'll put them right here on the board so you guys can see what I've got chosen. And now we can do the next part of the phase, which is taking our actions. So how the game works is on your turn, you can perform any of the following actions in any order, but only once. So the actions you can take are move, pretty straightforward. In this case, we can move up to our pace value. Our pace value, as I showed earlier, the blue value was 2. So I can move 2 spaces. Engage. If I have one of those punch dice symbols, I can spend that to do combat against all enemies in that space. I'll show you how that works. If there's a bystander, I can potentially rescue them. That requires to spend an energy, and there can't be any enemies in that spot. And then the landmark ability, we'll look at those, but some of them are free to do, some require energy to do. They've a variety of effects. And the last thing you can do is a scenario action. The scenario action you can do if there's no enemies in your space and you're not crazy. You don't have a lot of corruption, basically how it works. But you can do each of those once during your turn. Then after that, we're going to draw up to our hand size, and then, which is you can discard cards and drop to 5, and then the next person goes. And then they'll go through the whole order again, drawing a dark portents, generating power, and doing their actions. After that, then we'll do the impending doom phase, which is the bad stuff. But we'll get to that later. So, speaking of cards, this is a card-based game. So in this game, you will have 2 decks of cards. So you'll have a normal deck, and then you'll have a crazed version of it. So depending on what state you're in, if you don't have you haven't hit your corruption limit, you will be in your normal mode. Once you hit that corruption limit, you'll flip your board over, bad things happen, and you go into crazy mode. Okay. So speaking of which, if you want to see what Warden's crazy mode looks like, this is his crazy look. So some abilities will change, and then there's a way to flip back over. But we'll get to that later. Okay. So I can take those actions, and I have these 5 cards to play. Let's look at these a little bit closer. So here is my card, Adaptive Tech. So, like I said before, this is solo, meaning I can play this on my turn. This symbol means it persists, means it will stay in play forever until I go crazy, and then I'll discard those cards and you draw cards from my other deck. Other keywords might have gadget on there. This has the ability here. Other cards might also have an additional cost, which requires energy to play. So this requires 1 energy to play, and this is a Doomguard card, which means I can play anytime. And of course, there's also teamwork cards which can play off my turn as well. So there's lots of opportunities. Okay, let's start our turn by playing this card, the Adaptive Tech. So this one will persist. It's going to stay in play. It's free to play. There's no entry cost to play it. Solo means I have to play on my turn. Use any damage type when taking the engage actions. So what that means is if you look at the top right corner of my card, I do tech damage by default. This lets me change it to anything I want. Elemental, physical, psychic, lots of different types there, which is going to help against immunities. So we'll put this in play right here as a reminder. Now I want to take out that guy. Really badly want to take him out. Let's see if we can't make that happen. Next thing I'll do is I'll do a move action. So with a move action, I can move 2 spaces. 1, 2, right up there. Okay. Now I can do the engage action. So I would love to be able to take him out in one go here. So I'm going to try to play this here, Sword and Shield. Take a free engage action. Double all icons rolled. So I'm going to just go heavy against this guy. So a free engage action means I don't need this symbol. Normally you need the symbol on one of your power dice to do the engage action. You'll attack everything in your space. Because it's free, I don't have to spend it for that. However, you can spend the symbol to do an automatic hit. So I'm going to spend that to give myself 1 automatic damage. Also, I'm going to use this to trigger that effect. Double all icons rolled. So I'm going to double the icons of everything I roll. Let's see if we can't deal with this guy. All right, here we go. So how does combat work? Combat, we'll have to look at the enemy card. The enemy card here is Exalted. He rolls 2 yellows and a black, and he has 3 health. So we're going to grab those dice right here for him. And then we're going to grab the combat dice. So on combat, you by default roll 6 combat dice. And these dice have various effects. So it could be blanks, it could be damage, it could be collateral damage, which means instead of hitting the bad guy, you hit the location. Now, as a reminder, looking on the location, they all have collateral damage tokens value. So if we get to that 4 basically on this, we destroy this location, which is not great. Not great. And then we also have this symbol, which is shields blocks. So that can block collateral damage or damage coming at you, all sorts of fun stuff. So those are the 3 symbols we can deal with. So I'm going to grab all this dice, and then let's go ahead and roll to see what happens against the Legacy Herald here. There we go. Come on, come on. Let's see if we can get that. Okay. So, ooh, this is actually really good. So these get doubled, so that's actually 4 damage coming at them. We do have this, which is actually, we gain those shields. So let's gain our stuff right now. So this would give us these shield tokens. So I'm going to gain 4 of those, because remember, everything's doubled. So I gain 4 shield tokens, and it's got 4 damage coming at them. Let's look at what these symbols do. So we've got the exclamation point, and then this little stun symbol. So looking at his card, the stun symbol means he is going to gain 1 shield. So he's going to gain 1 shield to block 1 of my damage. And then this exclamation point means he's going to escape. he's going to fly to a different location. Okay, so can we deal him enough damage to take him out before he does that is the question. Now, remember, I did spend this symbol, which means we get an automatic hit. So we actually have 5 damage coming at him. 5 damage coming at him. And he is going to get 1 shield, so it blocks 1 of it. So he's taking 4. So he's definitely dying. He's trying to fly away, but he can't make it away. We took him out. And it did not do any damage to us. So we're going to hang on to these for the future. So we'll have that 4 blocks, 4 shields. Now, he's gone. And normally you get an experience point for that. However, he was exalted, which means we get double the experience. So I get 2 experience points. So experience, how this works is anytime you get 4 experience, you can turn them into level up. I'll show you how that works a little bit later. You get some cool stuff though. All right. So far so good. Bad guy appeared. We took him out. So that was our move and our engage. We played a bunch of cards. Now we can do. I don't have any more energy. I do have this movement here. But I already did my move action. This is basically not going to do anything for us. We could do the location action. This requires energy. I have no energy. And then we could do the snare action. There's no corruption there, so I can't do that either. And plus, that requires energy as well. So basically, our turn's done. So when our turn is over, we can discard any cards we want from our hand, and then draw up to 5 again. So I actually like what I have, so I'm just going to draw 2 more cards to bring my hand total up to 5 again. All right. That is it. Now we move on to the next Guardian, which would be Ogre. So we have to draw a Dark Portents for Ogre, and then we'll have Ogre take their turn. So the Dark Portents for Ogre is this. Cultists Chant On. We spawn 3 Cultists, and they're going to spawn in Blackguard. So Blackguard is one of the heroes that's not in the game, so instead we're going to go to a random Guardian instead. So let's go ahead and pick a random Guardian. You know what? It would go to. I did pick Ogre, but one thing I did forget to mention is Ogre is at the base. Enemies cannot enter the base. So the only other space they can legally go to is the Herald up here. So they're going to go all here. It's going to be a busy spot. And unfortunately, it's got 4 space, so it's already kind of full. Okay. And what does it say for Growing Dread? The Guardian becomes crazed. Oh no! Oh no! So whoever drew the card, which is currently Ogre, is going to become crazed already. So let's take a look at what that means. So before we do that, let's look at the normal side of Ogre. So this normal side, we're going to go to crazed mode in a second here. So interesting about this one is, if you notice, it's got it's got 2 pace, and it doesn't have a corruption value. That's because Ogre has 4 critical system cards that will be the corruption values for it. And so what that is, if we go ahead and take a look at those, here's the corruption cards. So on the top, you can see the front side of it when they're in operational state. On the bottom side, you can see when they're damaged. So basically, each of these cards can do various things. And you can see there's a health value, so this can actually take damage. So if I take damage, I put damage on here. If I put 2 damage on it, we flip to a damage side. And then the other symbol here is the corruption threshold. So this can actually hold 1 corruption. So basically, if all these cards get full of corruption, then we flip to the crazed stage. However, we flip to crazed stage anyway. So our cards are going to stay in their operational state because they are not damaged, but we are going to take our board and flip it over. So we get to see already what that does in this game. So let's go ahead and look at the backside of Ogre. So a couple things have already changed. You see that the corruption value still is at asterisk, which is dependent on the cards, of course. Only has one movement, which is really, really bad. Really bad. And now you can see that this Helen is now out of her suit. She is now suitless. So, Rebirth Protocol. This is going to be important for solo. Means on her turn, all models at her location take 1 tech damage plus 1 additional damage for each operational critical system. Meaning, you'll take 1 damage plus 1 for every of those operational cards that are blue side up. In this case, we have all of them face up, so it's gonna be 5 damage. Now it says all models. All models includes her and enemies and heroes and everything. So basically, Gamma Slam that spot. And then you'll remove all corruption from her critical systems and flip them to the operational side. So this is a way you can actually flip them back over to heal them. And then the important thing is Ogre's redeemed. So if we do this ability, Ogre's redeemed, we flip them back over to... If we can do this, we'll flip back over to the other side and we'll be in our normal mode. But right now we're in crazed mode. Crazed mode. Alright. So what that means is we need to draw from the crazed deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of these cards. Okay. Oh, and this is already in effect. So this is a bad card in the crazed part. This force means we have to play it when we draw it. Jet fuel leak. On your turn, play it. Anytime Ogre enters a landmark, place fire on it. So she's leaking fuel everywhere. Not great. Not great. She's going to drop fire everywhere. So that is in play. So for this turn, it's not persistent, so it's just going to, whenever she moves in that spot, that bad things happen. Okay. Okay, let's see what we can do. Oh, you know what? We did that. We did the bad card. We now need to roll our dice. So let's go ahead and roll our dice, our power dice, to see what we get. Now, Warden has a card I can play. I'm going to help. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Yes, this is the one I wanted. Teamwork. I play our turn. Choose 1. Another guardian rolls 2 additional power dice, 1 generating power, or they can heal and gain energy. Heal corruption. I'm going to choose the first one. So I'm going to let our mech suit ogre to roll, instead of 6, going to roll 8 dice and give them lots of options. So I'll play that for them. All right, let's generate some power here. There we go. Ooh, lots of options. So we got 3 wilds. Oh, yeah. We'll definitely take the 3 wilds and we'll take the 1 energy. That's what we'll dock. And the rest of them we'll just get rid of for now. That's fine. Okay, so lots of fun stuff at our disposal. Okay. That's Bad News Bears. We don't like that. We do not like that space. Now, unfortunately, it can only be 1 space, which is not great. But we can use one of these to help us move faster. Remember, I can add +2 to our pace. So that'll get us there. However, we're still in trouble because we can't enter there because it's full. We can pass through it, but we can't stop there. There is a fun ability, though. This card here, the Massive Thrusters. Ogre ignores the capacity of any landmark she enters. Move other models to make room for her. So we're definitely going to do that. Okay. So let's go ahead and start a turn by take move action. And we're just going to push this guy out of the way. So let's use one of these symbols for a movement. And then now let us get into that space. Now remember, this is full. I'm going to push myself out. So Guardian will pop out into that space. Now, unfortunately, our jet fuel leak is going to have us put fire on that location, which means if that location takes damage, it's going to take extra damage. And I'm not entirely sure if that's correct. I'll put a comment below if that is incorrect. But the fire tokens, basically what they do is anytime something takes damage, they take extra damage. That's a good way of putting it. So that's going to be on the location itself. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Master Mechanic card. Draw 3 power stunt cards. Discard any number of power stunt cards to repair 1 damage critical system for each one discard. So if these systems in front of me here, down here, were damaged, I can flip them over. I'm actually playing this for an interesting reason because I want to use this ability to help us out. So, okay. I would like to play this here, the linked comms. All guardians gain 1 energy. So Ogre's going to gain an energy, and Warden's going to gain an energy. So I'm also going to play network interface. So a guardian gains 2 energy. We'll just give that to Ogre. So they're going to have 3 energy total. So next thing I want to do is I want to spend that energy die to do this location effect here. Stop the press. Choose 2 cards from your discard pile, add 1 to your hand, and remove the other from the game. So guess what? We had to play that jet fuel leak card, which is a horrible card. That's in a discard pile. That's removed from the game. So sweet. No more worry about that. Okay, another card back to our hand. I'm going to grab the all guardians gain energy back to my hand. You know what? I'm going to play it again right away. Might as well. It doesn't hurt not to. So we're going to gain even more energy for everyone. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do our super move. So, that's going to do 5 damage to all models in that space and redeem her. Okay. So, 5 damage. These guys can only take 2 each, so they're all destroyed. Unfortunately, Ogre's also going to take 5 damage. So, we come down here to our board. We do have to put damage tokens on our systems. Let's go ahead and put 3 here and put 1 here and here. So, a lot of damage, but none of them have flipped yet. But the nice thing is we are now redeemed, which means we can flip back over to our good side. Okay, we're back, baby. We're back. And now, after we flip, we then get to draw 5 cards from our... Anytime you flip into crazed states or back, you do draw 5 cards. Okay. So here's our stuff we can do. Now, we don't have any corruption, so we did our location, we did our move, we didn't do engage. We played a bunch of cards. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play this polarized plating. So it requires hulls. That means I have to have my hull card available. So this is the bad thing, is as my systems go down, my cards I can play in my hand get reduced. But this will give me 4 shields, and I can spend energy to heal, which I'm not going to, because I don't have anything on my cards to heal from. Okay, but that's basically it. And, oh, by the way, we did take out these 3 cultists, so we are going to get 3 experience, 1 for each of them, which is going to be huge. So, 1 more, we get to level up. So, doing pretty good at keeping the enemies down, but we haven't really advanced on the scenario yet. Okay, oh, we do have 2 wilds, actually. We do have these 2 wilds. We can gain 1 more energy to put us up to 5. We can't gain any more energy than that. The other wild basically can't be used for anything. Okay. Alright, big turn, a lot of things going on. And then I can discard any cards I want. The main thing is I want to heal these, because these are at high damage values. High damage values. Alright. That is it. Let's move on to the next part of the game. So, we went through and we did the Perform Heroics. We drew our cards. Every guard's taking their turns. Now we're on Impending Doom. So, how this works is we have to do the Evil Threat. Resolve each Impending Doom effect listed on the Ultimate Evil board. So what that means is on the board here, on the Cthulhu board, you can see that there's a number of different effects here. So these are the Impending Doom. We have 1, 2, 3, use in order. So first thing we're going to do is place 2 divide by 2, 1 bystander token on a random landmark. So we add a bystander someplace. However, as a reminder, due to the scenario we're playing, it says here for Impending Doom, bystanders are not placed during the Impending Doom phase. So no bystanders there. Then we're to spawn a cultist on a landmark. So we'll go ahead and grab one of these cards and see what landmark gets a 1 cultist. So let's take a quick peek there, and it's going to be the hospital gets a cultist over here. And then we need to place a corruption, 1 corruption on a landmark. That's going to be the Legacy Herald, which is where Ogre is. So we're going to put 1 corruption there. Now, this gets filled up, we flip it over. Okay. So that was the first part of the Impending Doom. So that was the Evil Threat. Now we have to do the Impending Doom card. So what that means is we look over here, and if this card is not the Phase 2 card, we will draw and resolve it. So this is not the Phase 2 card, we'll do it. Now, anytime we need to draw a card and we cannot, we will then advance Doom. So let's see what we get. We have Civil Unrest. An unexpected side effect of the cultist ritual has caused some of the city's citizens to become new vector of madness. These unfortunate bystanders are a danger to themselves as well as others. Place 2 bystanders on the board, each at a random landmark. So now in this case, we would put them down. So if any of these bystanders are not rescued by the end of the scenario, unlock the Crazed Citizen's Dark Portents card. So this is part of the campaign. So if we don't rescue these bystanders, we'll have to unlock that card and it will be in the future scenarios we play, which is pretty cool. But basically, we have to pick 2 locations and drop bystanders down. Okay, so let's see what 2 locations we're going to put them on. We'll put them one on the power plant and one at the hospital. So 1 at the power plant and 1 at the hospital. Now these tokens, they don't actually they don't count as models, so don't add to the capacity of it. But we can go there and rescue them. So spend an energy, like add them to our board, and then if we bring it back to base, we'll get experience for that. Okay. Not to mention we'll avoid the bad effect that we just saw. So let's keep going through the phase. So that was the first part of Evil Threat. We did the Impending Doom effect on the Ultimate Evil board, and we did the Impending Doom card. 4th threat. So what we're going to do is do the landmarks in turn. So we're going to look at minions, and the minions will do stuff that will add corruption or potentially move if it's already corrupted. And then landmarks will do their Impending Doom as well. So looking around the board, number 2, there's no minions. This is not flipped. Nothing happens here. Same thing here. 7 will do something because we do have a cultist there. So the location itself doesn't have Impending Doom, but the cultists have Impending Doom effects. Looking at the cultist effect, Impending Doom is this landmark takes 1 corruption. So just by being there, the Impending Doom add 1 corruption there. Okay. And then, so that's the Impending Doom effect. But the other thing we have to look at is each minion adds 1 corruption to its landmark by default. So not only do we add 1 because of the Impending Doom of the cultist special ability, but because there's an enemy there, we add 1 as well. So that is going to be adding 2 to that spot, which actually isn't that bad because it actually has a high capacity. And remember, if we remove 1 of these, it will be one of the locations that it can be locked down, which is what we want. All right, so that was that, and there's nothing down there for the last landmark. Okay. After resolving the Impending Doom effects, we flip this card back over it, and then it's the next round. So the Guardians phase again. Oh, you know what I could have done? I'm going to retcon this real quick. Sorry, guys. I had kinetic conversion on Ogre. When I did that super attack, I could have reduced that damage by half. So instead of taking 5, I would take 3 of it. So I'm going to pretend I spent that. Sorry about that, retcon. We'll remove 2 of these from the board. There we go. And then at the start of the Warden's turn, as a reminder, the Warden can do this every turn. He can add, share his Connect conversion. So I'll give it back to Ogre. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Let's do the Dark Portents for the Warden. Alien Consciousness. We got 2 Bakis that spawn. They spawn the Guardian with the most damage, which would be Ogre. So 2 of those will spawn in Ogre's spot. That works. Okay. Growing Dread. Other Guardians cannot play Power Stunt cards this turn, so only the Guardian can play Power Stunt cards. So no teamwork right now. That's how it works. Okay. Can I go help Ogre over there? We'll see. All right, let's roll our 6 dice. See where we get here. Ooh, definitely take the wild. I want this, and you know what? I'll take the energy. Take the energy. Don't think we need the movement. So we'll take these four symbols. The other thing is if Ogre can get over there, the Ogre can heal. The nice thing about that spot is heal 8 damage for each energy spent. So that's a really great healing spot. So you know what? I am going to focus over here. I'm going to let Ogre deal with that on the next turn. Okay. So for the movement, I can just move 1 space into that spot. I'm going to use trigger combat and use this wild as another combat. So this is going to be 1 automatic damage is what comes down to it. And I'm going to roll those 6 dice. 6 dice plus 1 combat damage. I've got more energy that I just can't do anything with it. That's what comes down to it. But that's okay. Now, these bad guys are normal. They're only rolling yellow dice. So we're rolling 4 yellow dice.
against my 6 red dice, and I have 1 automatic damage. Okay, let's see if we can't deal with these flying nuisances. There we go. Actually, you know what? Let me spend these 2 right now to get that energy. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. Alright, so. Here we go. Come on, damage. I need to do 4 damage to them, and I don't have any other abilities I can do to help with this. There we go. Not great. Not great, unfortunately. So, let's take a quick look at what this does. So, we rolled 1 shield. We rolled 3 hits, which is nice. 3 hits. Oh, remember, we do have +1 because we did spend another one. So, we actually turned that to a hit. So, we have 4 hits and a shield. Now, they have these symbols here. So, they have 2 payback symbols and 2 of these stun symbols. Let's look at what that means for them. So the payback symbol means they're going to do 2 damage. Guard's damage are placed on a random landmark. So they're trying to do 4 damage to me with that attack. And then with those 2 shields, they're going to gain shields. 2 shields, unfortunately. Oh no, what we can do is we have 4 damage. So each of those will get a shield. I can spend all 4 damage, which one will be blocked, and the other 3 will go through and hit one of the guys. Oh, and I can knock the other shield off the other guy. Yeah, so I'll knock off both shields and take out one guy, is what comes down to it. Unfortunately, they're going to do 4 damage back at me. So with that 4 damage, I can block. So these shields are gone, and one of these guys is dead. And that works out. Which gives me 1 experience, which is great. Need the experience. I'm still 1 experience short from leveling up. Okay. Now, the payback is going to be 4 damage. I can block 1 of it with this, and then I have more damage coming at me. I can spend 3 more shields to stop all of it, is what comes down to it. So there we go. So no damage to me, and I took out one of those guys. Now, I can do stop the press here, which I can return a card from my discard pile back to my hand. Ooh, that's not bad, actually. Remove another one from the game? I think I'm going to do that, because I have a lot of power. I'm going to spend 1 power. And I am going to remove this teamwork from the game, unfortunately. It's a good card, but it's gone. Because I can get this back. Take a free engage action, which should be really, really nice. So normally you can only take each action once, but if cards gain you additional actions, these are in addition to your normal allotment. So this is going to be a free engage action. Free means I don't need another of those dice, which is great. If I spend 1 of my energy, I can double all icons rolled. I don't think I need for this. There's only 1 guy left. I'm going to try to take him out the old-fashioned way. so I'm going to try to take him out with what I've got. Okay. Plus, I don't want to destroy the location accidentally. So we'll play that. We'll do another engagement. So it means we'll roll our dice as normal. And it's going to be our 6 dice plus our 2 yellows. And we'll see if we can't take out this final guy. Come on. I need 2 hits. Well, maybe some more depending on what happens. Here we go. That is awesome. We did 3 hits and a shield. Let's see what these symbols. So this is a payback and 2 stun symbols. I believe those ones would mean he gets 2 shields. Yeah, he gets 2 shields. So he's going to gain 2 shields. No! Oh no! 2 shields and he hits me for 2. Oh man. Ugh. Because I have 1, 2, 3. So this will block 1 shield, right? That's how that works. The other one will block another damage. I have 1 left over. And how this works is it's all or nothing, basically. You don't actually keep damage on them. At the end of my action, if I'm not able to destroy them, and if people can play other cards out of turn to help to do a little bit extra damage, unfortunately, that's just not going to happen. His payback is going to hit for 2. I got 1 shield here. I still have 1 shield left over, so at least I'm not taking any damage. Bummer. I should have doubled it. Okay. Wah wah. Alright, I think that's basically it for me. Okay, now it's Ogre's turn. So for Ogre, we're going to draw their Dark Portents. So 2 cultists, and they're going to be at the landmark with the least corruption. Yeah, so 2 of them. So okay, 2 cultists. We'll put them over at the power plant, I guess. Not great. And then Growing Dread, one of them is going to be Exalted, which is horrible. Let's see, which one should be Exalted? We'll put you as Exalted over here. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Okay. That is their turn. Let's go ahead and do the power generation. And I have an ability to do battle bonds. Another Guardian can roll 2 additional power dice when generating power. So I'm going to help him out. I'm going to roll, instead of 6 dice, roll all 8 dice and see what they can get. Because I really want them to move out of that space without taking damage. Here we go. Come on, Ogre. Definitely want the movement. Definitely want the wild. Ooh, this is pretty good. We'll take one of everything. I'll take one of everything, please. Thank you, sir. So one of everything for their symbols. And I wanted this because I want to get rid of the payback, specifically. Okay, I think we can do it. We can have some fun here. Let's start off by doing Return to Sender. So it requires Massive Thrusters, which we do have online. Gain 1 energy, which are at max energy, we only have 5. And take a corruption to the Massive Thrusters. So our Massive Thrusters card is going to get a little bit of corruption. Which is okay, we have 2 we can hold on that. Place Ogre on the base, so we just get a move. So, ha ha ha. So Ogres can go right here. Now, I'm not positive if I need to spend this, but I'm going to spend it anyway to ignore the payback, just in case. So I'll play that to ignore payback. Okay. Now, the next part is the fun part. I'm now going to play this Strafing Tactics. So, requires mounted artillery, which I have online. Choose X minions within 2 spaces. Each minion takes 2 tech damage. So I'm going to spend 3 of my energy to do mounted artillery. So I can choose 3 minions within 2 spaces, and they all take 2 damage. So guess what? 1, 2, 3. Oh, take them all out! I love it. I love it. With the barrage. So that's going to be 3 experience. Alright, so now that we have a lot of experience, let's show you how that works. I'm going to spend 4 of that experience, and that's going to let us level up. So the first time we do this, we get a key to the city. So these are the key to the city cards. And basically how it works is when you spend these, you can look at the landmarks within 2 spaces of you. So I'm in the middle, so luckily everything's within 2 spaces of me. I look at all 4 of these. I can pick one of these key to city cards matching that landmark. Now, how that works is this is going to be an additional ability I can do on my turns or whatever the effect it is, and that will remain in effect for as long as that location is in the game. Once it's demolished or removed, then that key to city is no longer active. So every time I get 4 experience, I can get a new key to city card. However, after you get your first thing has to be key to city. After that, I can get a special legendary card, which I will absolutely want to get next time I get 4 experience. But let's look at what option I have for this one. So for the power plant, we can grab this one, roll an additional power die when generating power. Just every turn. Pretty nice. We have Our Lady of Sorrow Hospital. Spend an energy to heal 8 damage during this Guardian's turn, so really nice heal. A remote heal, because you don't have to be at that location. Key to City, when drawing cards at the end of the turn, the Guardian can choose to draw one of those cards from its discard pile. Really nice. And when you generate power, each lightning bolt you roll counts as 2 for even more power. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to take the Legacy Herald, Key to the City. Because at the end of the turn, I can draw a discard pile. I want to get that Strafing Tactics back. That card is amazing. So we'll have that Key to the City for the Ogre. Okay. So, we still have other actions we can do. We've just been playing cards. We haven't done our actions yet. Next thing I want to do is I want to do my movement action. So I'm going to move 1, 2 up here to the hospital. Alright. I do have energy left over. Actually, let's spend this to get 1 energy. And actually spend it right away to heal. Ooh, you know what? Let's not do that yet. I will take the energy, though. Because we might take damage with this attack. Yeah, we've got space. Okay. Let's see if we can't deal with that exalted guy there. Alright, I'm going to lay down some fire here.
So, plasma ejection. Oh, I have the whole line. All of the models at Ogre's location take 2 fire damage. Okay. Let's lay down the pain. The pain is here. Okay, so what that means is when I deal damage, this is going to increase that damage by 2, which is great because it has 3 health, so all I have to do is 1 damage to it. Just 1. Just 1. Okay. Now, let's do our engagement. And I believe I have an ability that can help here. Yeah. I'm going to have Inspiring Leader give all other Guardians 1 reroll token. So I'm going to have the Warden give our Ogre a reroll token. So reroll token, as you can guess, you can spend to reroll your dice. Pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and see if we can't destroy this guy. Let's spend this. I'm going to keep this around for the energy, because I think I want that. Yeah, I want to keep that around to be able to help lock this down and rescue that civilian. Yeah. So we'll just do a normal engagement action. We'll keep this wall around. So with that, that's exalted. So it's going to be a 2 greens and a black. And we're going to roll our 6 red dice here. So remember, we only need 1 damage. 1 damage against this guy. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, lots of things going on here. Let's see. We've got... Oh, no! Oh, no, we have blanks! We got 2 paybacks. Okay, so we're going to take some damage. Let's take a look at what that means, though, real quick. So, the paybacks are going to do 3 damage, and the Guardian's damage take corruption. So right now, because we're fighting Exalted, it's going to be 6 damage coming at us. Okay, but we have rerolls. So, let's definitely spend that reroll token immediately to reroll one of these dice. I need to get a hit on this die is what comes down to it. I need just 1 hit. 1 hit. Here we go. Come on, 1 hit. Boom! Got the hit. 1 plus 2 is 3. That's enough to take him out. Took him out. Okay. He's going to deal us, like I said, 6 damage. I've got 3 shields here. Plus, I have another 3 shields, so we're not going to take any damage from that attack. Actually, you know what? No, we will keep those shields. We'll use one of these shields to gain a shield. And we'll stop 2 of these 6, so we'll take 4 damage. Yes, we'll take 4 damage. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So took a lot of paper damage. He's now destroyed. That's going to give us 2 experience, which we can immediately level up. Which, let's go ahead and do that. Let's do it right now. So, level up. Let's get the legendary cards. Here's Ogre's legendary card. Doomguard, play... Now I can do it. Place a drone token at each landmark. Drones count as guardians until the end of the round. So what that means is if corruption will be added to, they don't, because the drones stop it. At the end of impending doom, I can discard a drone to gain energy, or I can discard a drone and spend an energy to deal 2 attack damage to a minion at its landmark. So this is in our hand right now. I could play it. Do I want to play it right now? There's no enemies out there right now, though. But it's a great card. And I could fetch it. Because of our Legacy Herald. Oh. This is getting crazy, guys. This is getting crazy town. Crazy town now. Alright. Yeah, those legendary cards are amazing. Amazing. Oh, you know what? I think this would have burned down next turn. I forgot to take that off. Okay. Well, let's do it. Why not? It's fun. Let's play this. Put drones everywhere. Everywhere gets drone. And then it gets to... at each landmark. Yeah, each landmark. So... everything gets a guy. I think that's a landmark too. Pretty sure it's a landmark as well. Alright, so that is it. Did our gauge. We still have stuff we can do. I'm going to use this as a energy. Yes. To do the location effect, which means heal 8. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm fully healed now. That's why I took the damage earlier. Fully healed and got shields. Okay. I have 3 energy left over. I'm going to spend 1 of it to rescue that bystander. You put it on my card. And another 2 to do, finally, the scenario effect.
So remember, the scenario effect is invoke to seal. Remove one corruption from the location. So we'll do that right now. And as long as there's one left, we then put a lockdown token on it. So this will not get any more corruption tokens. Cool. We're going to do it one more time, and then we get advanced to the next phase. Okay. So I think that's it for Ogre. She did a lot that turn. A lot. We get to discard any cards we don't want. And I'm going to take that Ogre army back for sure. Because why not? Impending Doom phase. Pending Doom. So, resolve the impending Doom effect listed on the Ultimate Evil board. So, putting bystanders down, we skip. Cultists on a random location. So, we have to put one down. There we go. Let's see what we get. We're going to get one at the Legacy Herald. So, this will pop up over here. And we have to put a corruption on a random landmark. So that is going to be at the Sorrow Hospital. Now, because it's locked down, it does not get corruption. So that was a perfect draw for that one. So move on to reveal the next impending Doom card. Next Doom card, as you can see at the top of it here, it says Phase 2. So we cannot actually reveal this. We have to complete the goal. So unfortunately, that means instead, we lose one Doom. So time is going. Time is going. Did a great turn, but we need to do the scenario. Okay. Keep going through the order. So then we have to do the board threats. So looking at each location, we're going to look at minions, and we look at the landmarks. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this in order. So the first one is going to be 2. So because there's a minion here, it is going to add corruption to the board. And because of their special ability, Impending Doom, they will add another corruption. The landmark takes 2 corruption basically this turn. So that would fill this up. However, the rule is if there's any heroes there, any Doomguard there, they must take the corruption instead. So that means I would have to take the corruption. However, remember the drone? The drone counts as a Doomguard. So it can take the corruption and basically not take anything. So that's going to stop all the corruption from me out of there. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So nothing gets added there, and the rest of the locations are fine. That's what comes down to it. So we're doing good. Just gotta worry about that Doom. And then that is basically it, because there's no other locations to do anything with, and the minion's gonna stay there. So now we can move on to the next turn, starting with Warden again. Okay, so Warden only has 3 cards left because he's been playing some cards out of turn, but it'll be his turn. So let's draw the Dark Portents card. We gotta seal one more. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Forgot about the drones. The drones have to come off. So all the drones come off. And you know what? This drone I can get 1 energy by taking this one off. You spend that energy to do 2 damage here, which will take out that cultist. Boom. There we go. That cultist is gone. And I can get 1, 2, 3, 4. So Ogre can get 4 energy. That's a ridiculous ability. It's so good. It's so good. I'll put some notes in there if I'm playing this wrong, but I think that's correct. Okay. So that's that. Then we move on to a Sacrifice of Innocence. 1 cultist appears. And it appears at Our Lady's Sorrow Hospital. So it's going to go all the way over here. Okay. Growing Dread. Remove 1 rescued bystander from the game. Oh no! I guess this power plant not getting rescued. Out from the game. Alright. Which I believe... What does this thing say again? Any of these bystanders are not rescued by the end of the scenario, unlock this. So that is going to trigger. We will unlock the Crazed Citizen card. Because we were not quick enough to save that one. Alright. Now we get to roll a dice. Actually, I'm going to interject something real quick. I have this card. And I'm going to play right now as a Doomguard. You play anytime. Counter-Strike. Choose where minions spawn this turn. I actually don't want this guy here. I'm going to put him back on the Herald. Because if I combat him, he drops down a corruption, then I can protect that location. I think that's what I want to do instead. So let's play that out of turn. Okay. Let's go ahead and generate a power. So rolling our dice. See what we get for our power attack. Here we go. A really good roll. Definitely take the wilds. Don't need... Yeah, I'll take the energy. I don't think I need the movement. I don't think I need the movement. Okay. So 3 wilds and an energy. So a really good roll for us. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to... I need a little bit... I need this one... I'll spend this 1 energy right now to get 1 energy token. So we've got 3. Yeah, so we'll do these actions to do engagement. So 1 to engage and get 2 automatic damage. So let's see what we get. So this is just a regular one. So I'm going to roll 6 red dice and 2 green dice. Here we go. Okay, so I get 1, 2 hits plus one block. And looks like we get a payback and a stunning. So let's look at what he does. The payback is going to be Guardians. I'm going to take 2 damage and get corruption. And then the landmark is going to get corruption as well. Now, because I'm there, I'm going to take the corruption instead of the location. So basically, I'm taking... The Guardian damage takes 2. So I'm going to be taking 2 corruption. And I have 2, 3, 4 damage plus a shield. He's going to do 2 to me. I have kinetic conversion. I could spend that to reduce that to 1. And I have the 1 shield here to block the rest of it. So nothing happens to me except for the 2 corruption. And he is gone. No more cultists. This gives me another experience. I can spend all that experience to level up and get another key to the city. Now, looking where I'm at, I can't take the Legacy Herald, but I can take the power plant. Because the Legacy Herald was taken by Ogre. So the power plant will give me this ability. I roll an additional power die when generating power, which I'm very happy about. That's going to be very useful. Okay. So I did the engagement. I have movement. Yeah, we'll move down here. And as my action, I will just gain 2 more energy. So I'll be at my max 5 energy here. So that'll be it for the Guardian's turn. Okay. Moving on to Ogre's turn. See what the Dark Portent card is. We're spawning 1 cultist at a random landmark. And this is Ultimate Evil Cthulhu, so there's some special cards that come out as well based upon what enemies you're fighting and what old one you're fighting. So there's a lot of replayability in this. So it's going to be at the power plant, which is where I'm at. Okay, so the cultist appears next to me. Place an exalted energy token on a cultist and place so it's gonna be one corruption on its landmark, which I would take another corruption because I'm there instead. So I have 3 corruption out of my 9, but it is a super exalted one as well. All right, that is that. Ogre's turn. All right, let's roll our 6 dice to see what Ogre can do. We just need to get rid of some stuff here. Well, I've got those symbols. Oh, you know what? I forgot to roll an extra die. Roll 1 more die. There we go. Don't really need the... Well, I'll take the wild. I'll take that, and I think I'll take the movement. I don't really need... Okay, first thing on Ogre's turn we'll do is Rally Point. So place any number of guardians at landmarks within 2 spaces of Warden. Guardians at Warden's location gain an energy. So let's go ahead and move Ogre all the way up here, rallying to me, my friend. Yeah, let's do a drone strike here. So it costs 1 energy. I have AI interface, which is fine. Deal 1 tech damage to a minion for each of Ogre's operational system. I have 4 operational systems, so it's 4 damage. That's going to just go straight to the exalted guy. He is finished. And that is going to give us 2 more experience, which will let us level up again. So I have these symbols I haven't used. Let's use this movement to move here. So our movement's done. Oh, I guess I don't have to use that for movement. I can move there. And then I'm going to use this wild to turn in that bystander. So that bystander is rescued. So it'll give us another experience. And then we'll spend Spend 4 of that experience to get another key to the city. We'll gain the healing card for Ogre. Make sure to keep Ogre healthy here. And I think that's it. There's not a whole lot else I want to do. I could play my ogre army, Doomguard, but honestly, I kind of want them to spawn and drop down corruption tokens, because if I do that, they're not going to stop to drop down corruption tokens. I need that to happen so I can do the final seal. Okay, impending doom time. So we'll do everything on the board first. So first thing we do is we add bystanders. We don't do. We add a cultist to random landmark. So cultist is going to be added to the power plant over here, which is not what I wanted. Okay. Then we have to add a corruption to a random landmark. So hopefully it's at Legacy Herald. Is at the hospital, it does not add anything. Ooh. All right. And then we need to draw an impending doom card, which we cannot. So we're going to tick that down. A doom is going down. That's not, I'm kind of worried about that. And then we have to do the stuff, depending doom around the board. So this would add 1 for the enemy and 1 for being a cultist. So it would add 2 here, which instead the warden gets it. So wardens are up at 5. 5 corruption of the 9. So he's just taking a lot of corruption right now. All right. Then we move on to the next round. Starting with the warden. Let's see what Dark Portent card we get. Okay, 2 cultists, and they respond at the City Hall, which you don't have on the board. So it's going to be a random landmark instead. So we're going to put 2 cultists on the board, and they're going to be at the power plant. Oh gosh, it's a party over here. It's a party. Okay, 2 more cultists there. And it says here, remove all corruption from 2 landmarks with at least 1 corruption. Place that corruption on this guardian. Oh boy. So these 2 get removed, and I get 2 more. So I'm up to 7. 7 of 9. So quite a bit of corruption for our warden. He's not doing so great. He's not doing so great on that front. But I think we have an option here. We have an option. Okay, so first thing I'll do, because there's a party in that space. Oh, you know what? I need to roll my power dice, of course. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I roll an additional power die because we load up. So I roll 7 power die. See what we get here. Sweet. We want a lot of attack. I don't care about the movement right now, so I'll take the energy. All right. So we'll take those symbols. 2 attack, a wild, and an energy. Okay. I'm going to use that energy right away to play Unstoppable Will. Heal half your current corruption. All of the guards heal 2. So the nice thing about that is I've got 7, so I'll do half. So I'll heal 4. I'll be down to 3. So that's good. And then we can heal the corruption off Ogre. Ogre had 1 on there. We can play the Ionized Sword. A minion at Warden's location takes 2 tech damage. So that will just outright take out one of these guys. It's going to help a lot. Keep that down lower. I get 1 experience for that. I think the last thing I do is I do the engagement. Yeah, so this is going to do the engagement plus 2 automatic damage. So they are rolling green dice. So we grab 4 green dice and our 6 red dice. And let's see if we can't take these guys out. If we can take out... we're still short. We're still short. I was hoping we could get 1 more level going, because that would help a lot. Alright, here we go. Roll these dice and see what we get. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's a lot of collateral damage. That's a lot of collateral damage. Not great. So 3... And... Yeah, so 3 damage plus 2 collateral damage. And we have these other symbols. So let's look at what they do. So we have 1, 2 payback. So it's going to be 4 damage and corruption being added. The stun is going to add corruption to the location, which I'm there, so I'll take it instead. And then Dark Ritual gets triggered. Oh, sorry. We have 2 paybacks, 2 stuns, and 1 Dark Ritual. If 2 cultists are on the board, this guardian becomes crazed. If the guardian is already crazed, Doom advances. Oh, man. So I'm going to go crazy by attacking these guys, unfortunately. Because there's definitely 2 cultists on the board when this thing triggers. Okay, so let's do this in order. So, unfortunately, that damage is gonna hit that location. So, 2 damage to that location. So it's got 5. We're still doing okay. I've got that 3 damage. They're not blocking any of it. That's enough to take out one of them. I'm 1 short though. 1 short. Oh no, I'm not, because I added this thing here, right? So I have 2 automatic damage. So that's gonna take out all of them, fortunately. So that's gonna net me the 2 more experience, but I still have to resolve the rest of the dice. And I said that I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. I have my kinetic conversion, so I can knock it down to 2. And so that's just 2 damage to me. Yeah, I'm taking 2 damage. So it comes down to it. Okay. And I'm taking 1, 2. I'm taking 4 corruption. Yes, I'm up to 7 corruption again. Good grief. Good grief. Good thing I healed. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm not crazy. No, but then I go crazy. Yes, then I go crazy. So, unfortunately, that means I have to discard all my normal cards in my deck. So this card that's been out for a while is now discarded. And I will then flip my board over to my crazy side. So that is going to be this one here. And if I have 3 or fewer corruption, move minions to my landmark until the landmark has reached max capacity, and then I'm redeemed. So I have to call everyone over, basically, is what it comes down to it. But I do draw up to my hand size of 5. So here we go. Hand size of 5. Here we go. What can we do? I did my engagement, took out all the bad guys. Okay, so I'm going to do a movement action here. And then I'm going to do the ability of the skyscraper base. So, discard any number of dock power dice. Oh, I don't have any dock power dice. I used all my dice. Bummer. I need my dice so I can heal my corruption. So do that next time. Okay, it's up to Ogre to do it. Come on, Ogre! Dark Moon Rising. Add 2 cultists to a Hellcat, as we don't have Hellcats, so it's going to be a random Guardian, which can't be in our spot, unfortunately. So it would be at any other spot. So, we'll put them over here. And then all Guardians discard 1 power stunt card. Here we go. And that's 1 of everything. We'll take it. 1 of everything. Okay. So I have an idea here. I have a special ability that I haven't done yet. And it's going to be the Mounted Artillery card. Ogre can target minions 2 spaces away with her next engage action. So my thought is I can engage these guys from distance. And because no one's there, maybe I can drop down some corruption. I can run in there and then pick up that corruption to get out on that last lockdown. Okay, so with that, I'm going to spend these 2 as engagement. Engagement plus 1 automatic damage. So let's go engage these guys. I'm going to roll these dice and see what we get. Okay, let's see what this attack's going to do. Here we go. 1 corruption, 1 corruption. There, we got lots of stuff going on. Okay. So, the payback symbols on these 2 dice do nothing because I'm not in that spot. We do have 2 of these stun symbols, which is great because that means we add corruption to the landmark. So we have 2 to the landmark, which is exactly what we needed. So 2, because remember, we need to heal 1 and have 1 left over. This exclamation point is to Dark Ritual, which if 2 cultists are on the board, this guard becomes crazed. If the guard is crazed, the Doom advances. Oh no! Now we're being crazed. Not great. So we're going to be crazy, unfortunately. And then this means that is going to take damage, collateral damage. But we have 1, 2, 3, and remember we have 1 more, so 4 damage takes them both out. So now we're in crazy state. Oh no! Because we have the corruption on there, we just gotta pick it up. So I need to get redeemed. I need to get redeemed. So I think we're just going to. Okay, this is going to work out. This is going to work out for us, I think. Okay. Luckily, I still have this movement die. So I'll use this movement die to increase our pace by +2. So that'll give us 1, 2, 3 to get us down here, which is what we need. Okay. Then what we can do, it's kind of a waste, but I need to have this happen. I'm going to do the rebirth protocol. I'm going to take 5 damage, unfortunately, to our systems to then get back into normal mode. Okay. But I need to do that because I can't do snare actions while I'm crazed. So I was momentarily crazed. I came back out of it, came back to my senses, got really like, oh, what's going on? Okay, got it. Okay. Now that I'm not crazed anymore, I've got a lot of damage, but whatever, it's fine. It's fine. I've got 4 energy. I'll spend 2 of that to remove 1 corruption here and put this in lockdown, which is exactly what we needed. Oh, okay. Okay. Pause here. We finally did it. Because remember, the goal we have to do is once the guards have taken the Invoke the Seal scenario 2 times, read where the ritual is complete on page 7. With the final landmark sealed, the Guardians have stopped the cultists' plans. They won't be able to use their chosen sites to increase the power of their dark gods. There's no time for rest, as the machinations of evil are not easily thwarted. If there are no fully corrupted landmarks on the board, each Guardian draws a Power Stunt card. So sweet, we both get Power Stunt cards. Okay. If a landmark has been demolished, which none of them have, each Guardian takes 2 corruption, and then we draw the phase 2 card. Okay, so now we're going to do... Now we finally did this, and now we can draw the phase 2 card right here. So let's take a look at what that is going to be. Okay, phase 2. Time for plan B. Each Guardian discards all but 1 energy. Oh no! Oh no! Lost a lot of energy there. Okay. Landmarks with a lockdown token become fully corrupted without advancing the doom. Ah, okay. So, normally what happens is when these locations become corrupted, we will advance doom. But these guys are locked down, they become corrupted, and we don't advance doom. So I'm going to flip both these over instead. Okay, there we go. So that's what that means so far. Let's keep going. Oh, let's read time for plan B, sorry. The meanings of the Dark One were prepared for the interference of the Doom Guard. The placement of seals activated magical traps that steal power from the Guardians to supercharge the corrupting ritual tainting Legacy City's landmarks. The sealed landmarks become completely corrupted and threaten to burst through the protective barrier placed by the Guardians. To stop the summoning once and for all, the Guardians must destroy all the affected landmarks to sever their connection to the greater ritual. Legacy City can still be saved, but at what cost? Alright, so landmarks with a lockdown token become fully corrupted without events of doom. Read phase 2B on page 7. Yep, what you just did. Stop it at the source. So we cannot do the lock the seal scenario action anymore. Unlock the level it scenario action. So what that means is for 1 energy, roll 6 combat dice. Apply collateral damage as usual and ignore all other icons. So we just do collateral damage. Impending doom, we still don't put bystanders down. And victory, when there are 1 landmark with a lockdown token is demolished, we do victory. Okay. So we have to destroy one of these 2 sites because it was a trap. They're using our power against us. We need to stop them. Okay, so what can we do with that? So I mean, luckily we do have 1 collateral damage on this already. Can I put more down somehow? Sometimes you can have cards to do that. So I'm going to use my last energy, my 1 energy I have. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's see if we can blow up the Captain's Might statue. So if we can do this, we might just complete it. Here we go. I need collateral damage. I got nothing. No symbols. Alright. Oh, I do have 1 more energy. You know what? I can do it again. I forgot about this energy die. I didn't use that one. Let's do it again. That's my last energy I got. Here we go. 1 more time. Come on. Need collateral damage. 1, 2, 3. Boom! 3. Looking down at this thing. We have one on there ready. +3 is 4. That will destroy the Captain's Might statue. That is now gone. And then we would actually have to be moved to an adjacent spot after that gets destroyed. But that would complete it, because remember, as our thing says here, when one landmark with the lockdown tokens are demolished, read phase 2B victory. Here we go. Let's see what it says. Though portions of the city lie in rubble and ruin, the cultists' vile plan was thwarted, and the Doomguard returns to base before they can celebrate the Dark One's defeat. The guards must track down the fleeing cultists and prevent them from rallying. Surveillance cameras, footage, and eyewitness accounts should help them piece together enough clues to find the cult's secret hideaways all over the city. Any landmarks destroyed in the scenario may not be used in scenario 2, so some persistence was pretty cool. Emboldened by the success, each guardian who demolishes a landmark with a lockdown token starts the next scenario with an additional Power Stone card. If there are no fully corrupted landmarks at the end of the scenario, unlock a custom counter ritual Dark Portents card. So we get another ability there, because we had no fully corrupted landmarks. That's right. So yeah, that's going to end this play. You saw leveling of different characters. You saw destroying locations. You saw how the combat works with different actions on it. Let me go to our chat and talk about my impressions of this one. So that was Doomguard Scenario 1, the preview. So we would then continue on playing with other stuff. Things you haven't seen is there's more cards you can unlock in the game, so more Dark Portents cards. And the interesting thing about this is this Dark Portents deck is you will take 5 random ones from each minion group, shuffle them together, and then you'll grab one. It's called like an Ultimate Evil card, depending on what Ultimate Evil you're facing, and shuffle that in together. So those cards are going to be different each time you play. The impending Doom cards, they have some variety there as well. Some of them have multiple Phase 2 cards, and you only pick one of them, so you don't know which Phase 2 you're going to run into as you play. There's a lot of replayability in a given scenario. I think they did a fantastic job with that. The heroes feel very different. The Warden I played, very much a support character, very much my style. I love support characters. So being able to, hey, let me heal you, let me give you some defense tokens, let me reroll stuff for you. Love that. And Ogre's a beat stick. That is Kim's character. It will just do massive damage. Really interesting. Trying to balance your systems and your corruption. Very powerful in the right if the right cards come out. Be able to attack things remotely. It's interesting approaching this because you only have those actions. You can do them once each turn, and it seems limiting. But the fact you have the power stun cards really helps a lot to that, because you can play a lot of those cards in those turns and try to figure out how efficiently play those cards to yield the best results with the limited actions you are given by default. So I enjoy that quite a bit. That card play, that puzzle is great. One thing I'm not so keen on is the dice themselves. There are 2 misses on the combat dice and 2 misses on the power dice, and I feel like that's one too many. I would like on those dice. I've had games where you roll those power dice and you could easily roll 1 symbol and a bunch of blanks. Now, to be fair, you still have all your actions, so you're not it's not a dead turn, but those power dice help a lot during your turn. And taking damage, you roll less of that and stuff like that. So it can really have a domino effect on your gameplay. And then the damage itself, you can get some swings as well without reroll tokens. There's some mitigation there, as you can see. But the main way I feel like dealing with it is your stunt cards. Just avoiding those dice altogether. The leveling is really fun because as you level up, you'll get a key to the city. And that will be different depending on what locations you have in the game. And you unlock your legendary cards, which are all super powerful, super awesome. I love that part of it quite a bit. These scenarios are varied. There's a lot of different ones out there. Enjoy that aspect of it. The cooperation is good. I feel like I was able to help each other out. Having the teamwork cards and Doomguard cards being able to play out of turn are great, so you're not sitting there twiddling your thumbs. You're still engaged on people's turns because you can still act. Even if it's not your turn, you can act. The one thing you didn't see is the corrupted location. I could have gone there to take damage to bring the Doom back. So even though I was counting down that Doom track, sorry, accelerating at the end there, there's an option for me to reel that back
to take a lot of damage and effects. So I like that there's some solutions out there to mitigate things. But like I said, if you're looking for unique characters, definitely got it. Replayability within scenarios, definitely there. Like I said, the dice is the one thing that I'm not sure about that can easily be tweaked potentially. But it's a fun one. A lot of potential for this one. So go take a look at this on GameFound. If you have any questions on what you see, let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. And if I have any errors, I will document those as well. So go take a look down there in case I made some mistakes. But thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time at the guild. Bye-bye.